Wow, this is an amazing sidewalk we're standing on, right?
Whoa,
Editing team?
So
Well,
good.
let's talk about Denver's sidewalks. Let's talk about Initiated Ordinance 307. Sasha, what is Initiated Ordinance 307?
It's going to raise a property tax to pay for sidewalks. Today, if you own a property, it's your job in Denver to maintain the sidewalk in front of your property. What this ordinance is doing is it's going to take the responsibility onto the city, and they're going to charge you $3.23 per linear foot of frontage that your property has, and that's going to grow over time with inflation.
So if I own a property, I pay this tax, but if I don't own a property, then I don't pay the tax?
Yes and no. Right now, your landlord needs to maintain the sidewalk in front of your house. So presumably every so often, some work has to get done. And that gets passed down to the tenant. But in this specific instance, the tax itself will be paid for by the landlord, by the property owner, not by renters.
Right, but those costs could get passed on to the renters.
Those costs could get passed on to renters. Yeah.
Okay, so right now it's each individual property owner's job to keep the sidewalk up.
That's right.
And if this passes, it will kind of become the city's responsibility and it will be funded by this tax. Why would we make this change? What's wrong with the current system?
Yeah, a lot of sidewalks are banged up. People with disabilities have struggle walking across these sidewalks. And the truth is, if my sidewalk's banged up, I don't know how much it's gonna cost. I don't know who to call. It's a big problem, I think, for property owners in general.
But there's some sidewalks in the city that look really nice, right? That where the property owner has kept the sidewalk up.
Well, I think more likely those are newer properties.
Okay.
Older properties, they're gonna have to incur these costs sooner or later.
So in this system though, newer properties with great sidewalks and old properties with beat up sidewalks, they all pay the same tax.
That's right.
Why should the property owners of the new shiny sidewalks pay for the repair of the old sidewalks?
I'd say that's a good con. Really is a redistribution. If you built a property in the last 10 years, you're probably subsidizing the cost of older properties with banged up sidewalks. Also, if you live in a house with lots of frontage, and even though you might have a small house, you're covering the cost of a lot of sidewalks.
Although that would be the case anyway, basically, right?
That would be the case anyways.
Okay.
Unless you have a new house, right?
Yeah, unless you have a new house. One more question for you. Do you think the city of Denver government is able and fast and responsive and has lots of labor supply right now so they could just go out and fix sidewalks?
I don't think so. I don't think the city's gonna turn around real quick and get things done on a dime, but neither do property owners today. This is a problem that is faced across the city. Sidewalks aren't getting fixed.
Yeah.
I do think that the city has good infrastructure to do this. They do a lot of road work already. They do all the signage work that's alongside sidewalks. They do a tremendous amount of maintenance.
So I'm still on the fence about this thing. Convince me. What's your best argument?
Here's why I think you should vote yes for this. The cost of centralizing this service, I think, is going to be less than every individual trying to go out and buy it on their own. I think this is a perfect example of where government can probably do something better than we can as individuals. I don't know who to call. I don't really know how much it should cost.
Right.
But if there's a department at the county that fixes roads and signs and they do sidewalks too, they could probably do this better than I can.
Right, so if most Denver people have a hard time finding the time to go through their complicated ballot, imagine how many people really have the time to figure out what contractor is gonna fix their sidewalk and get them out there and coordinate the whole process, right? And the city, if the city's buying all of these contracting services to fix sidewalks at the same time, the city's gonna be able to do it efficiently and with a large scale.
How are you voting on this?
I think you won me over again. I'm gonna go yes on this one.
Undefeated this year.
So that's 307 on sidewalks. You've heard both sides. Sasha, anything else you want to say?
Why did the chicken cross the sidewalk?
Why?
To get to the other side. Walk.
Okay.
Walk.
Check out our other videos on Denver measures. 2 guys, 1 ballot. Tune in. See you soon.